Okay, let's talk about the CSET multiple subjects exam. And specifically, we're going to be talking about the math section on this particular exam. And if you're watching this video, I'm going to go ahead and assume that you are preparing to take the CSET multiple subjects exam. And obviously, you're going to be an educator in the state of California. So, welcome to the video. What we're going to be doing here is taking a look at a practice problem that you should be able to handle pretty well if you're fully prepared for this CSET exam, at least for the math section for it. So we'll get to that problem here in a second. But first, let me go ahead and introduce myself. My name is John. I'm the founder of Tablet Class Math. I'm also a middle and high school math teacher. And over the last several years, I've constructed many online math courses to include a CSET multiple subjects math test prep course. I'm going to leave a link to that in the description of this video. But with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at this practice problem. Okay, so here I have some stuff. Obviously, I'm going to fully solve this problem for you in a second. But the way I like to do these videos is, one, I'm going to just kind of give you a general description of what the problem is. So for those of you who can solve it, you can solve it. Then I'm going to give a hint, and then obviously I'm going to completely solve the problem. Okay, so here I have some notation, all right, and this hopefully means something to you. What I'd like you to do is to construct a number line and put this on the number line. Let me see the graph of what's being represented here on a number line. So that is the problem, okay? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and give a hint. If you don't want to hear the hint, obviously go and pause the video. And even if you're not quite sure, you should at least pause the video and think about it before I actually get into it. Okay, so what's going on here? Well, we have basically a set of values. Okay, so these are what we call intervals. Okay, they represent a set of range of values on the real number line. Okay, so the way we basically express ranges of values, we use things like inequalities, graphs on the number lines, and you got to be able to interpret one way of expressing intervals. Basically, be able to interpret them either from like what we call this here. This is called interval notation. Be able to interpret this and be able to write out the number line equivalent, the graph, and vice versa. So let's go ahead and do this now. Let's go ahead and solve this. Hopefully this isn't too difficult for you, but let's go ahead and knock it out real quick. So here is a number line. Let's plop 0 right here in the middle. And what we have is a union, okay? I don't want to get too far into this concept of sets, but understanding sets and intervals is a huge part of mathematics. So we have two intervals that we need to describe, okay? So let's go ahead and talk about this first one right here that I highlighted in blue, okay? So let's first put 3. We'll put 3 there, then we have 5. These are some critical values. So what does this mean here? Well, this means, okay, this is what we call interval notation, but this is representing all the values from 3, but not including 3. So when you have a little parenthesis like this, it's all the values from 3, not including 3, to negative infinity. Now, negative infinity is over here. Okay, this is where all the negative numbers are going, right? So here, let's say this is negative 5 and negative 10. Obviously, the numbers are increasing here. Infinity is a pretty big number, so it would be negative infinity way over to the left here. So all the values from 3, but not including 3, this is what this means, okay, graphically would look like this, okay? So this is what I wanted to see, all right? So open circle at 3, going all the way towards the left, represents that interval. And so what we're saying, this could be maybe the solutions for a particular equation, but we're saying that this right here represents all the values along the number line in this way. Okay, so now let's talk about this other interval. So we're going to start at 5. Okay, so obviously we're going to be heading in the other direction towards positive infinity. Okay, but notice this bracket is different than this open parenthesis. So in interval notation, what this means is all the values to include 5. So we're going to fill in that little circle and go in this direction. Okay, so notice the difference. We have a bracket and open parentheses, and this is a union, meaning that we're talking about this interval and this interval. Okay, jointly, we're looking at both of them. So again, this will be all the values to include 5. So we're going to close that circle going towards positive infinity. So this is interval notation. This is another way we can represent this. We can also represent this using inequalities as well. So you need to be able to interpret all three of these things, but interval notation is pretty common. You definitely need to be familiar with this for sure, and at a minimum, understand number line graphs, etc. Because things like, well, let's just do a real basic extra problem. If I said 3x is greater than 9, okay, so this is a basic inequality problem. If I said go ahead and solve that problem, or what are the solutions to this problem? So first, we need to solve this inequality. We'll divide both sides of the inequality by 3. So I got all x is greater than 3. Okay, this is the inequality. Okay, so that's all the values, let's do a little number line, that are greater than 3. So here's 3. Okay, so all the values that are greater than 3, but not including 3, is this way. Okay, so these sets, these infinite set of numbers, these values, are solutions. Any number is greater than 3 is a solution to this original inequality, but I can express this solution this way. I also need to be able to interpret what it means on a number line like so, and then you can also use interval notation, which would be what? Okay, it would be open parentheses at 3 plus positive infinity, like so. Okay, now notice when we're dealing with infinity, we always have open brackets because we're never going to have a closed bracket at infinity, because that would mean that you would actually reach your destination and to include infinity, which obviously conceptually is impossible. So we would never have that. Okay, so again, working with sets of values, various notations, inequalities, intervals, etc. Very, very important, especially this level of mathematics that you're going to be facing on the CSET. Okay, I would characterize this math as being it's definitely far more challenging than the CBEST exam, if you're familiar with that. Here, you're going to be dealing with more advanced high school level mathematics concepts. Okay, so this is definitely along the lines of this. It's definitely not going to be basic algebra and geometry. Yes, some of that as well, but definitely more advanced concepts. So lots to learn. And if you need a good study plan, again, a course like mine could definitely help you out. So let's go ahead and wrap up this video. Again, I'm going to leave a link to my CSET Math Test Prep course in the description of this video. I believe right now, at the time of this video, my course has 25 chapters. It's a huge amount of material because that's, there's a lot of mathematics you got to be ready for an exam like this. So you're going to, want to have a good, strong study plan and give yourself enough time to prepare because it's a challenging test to say the least. If you're new to my YouTube channel, currently on my, at the time of this video, I've been on YouTube for like a good 12 years. I already have hundreds of videos on my channel that could help you prepare if you like my teaching style. Also, I'm posting stuff all the time, so hopefully you'll consider subscribing. If you like the video, definitely appreciate a thumbs up and leave me some feedback. What's your, career path? Are you going from high school to college to becoming a teacher, which I think is really cool because you obviously knew what you wanted to do early on in life, which is a rare thing these days. Oftentimes, a lot of young people, they're just struggling to figure out what should I major in, what should I do. But there are those people that had the passion to be a teacher early on. But maybe you're, coming from a different career. Maybe you were an engineer or were in business and now you want to become a teacher and you're making that switch as well. I think that's one of the great things about today, about teaching today. There's a lot of programs for people who are coming from other careers to get into the classroom. I think that's trend's probably been around for a good 20 plus years. So, um, it just makes the wealth of experience from our teacher cores, that much more, that much better. You can have that kind of a diversity of experiences. I will say this, nevertheless, whether you're going to be a new teacher coming from another career or going in right out of college, is being a teacher is challenging for sure, but it's also rewarding. The first part of being a teacher is obviously getting through your professional certification exams like this, but then the second part is just learning the job, and that takes experience. So, don't be too hard on yourself after your first year teaching. You'll have your stories of being like, oh, wow, you're going to make a lot of mistakes. Find those veteran teachers that can help you, okay, for sure. So you can learn all the things that are not in the book, okay, because really that's going to be the art of teaching. But that being said, I definitely wish you all the best in your teaching career and obviously on the CSET. Thank you for your time and have a great day.